Greetings, beautiful friends. Happy Monday to you. Here we are with our usual Monday check-in and our inner forecast session. Our inner compass forecast, I should say. This is the last one for 2025. How is the releasing of this year feeling for you? This week, and we only have a couple of days left for 2025. As we come into the idea of the inner compass forecast, if you've watched these before, you know I like to feel into the rhythm of the cycles of the moon. What we will be affected by this week is the incoming full moon in the sign of Cancer. That's not coming in until Saturday, so we'll actually be in 2026 when that happens. So what we're being bathed by right now is the waxing moon. So it's like gently, nurturingly, soothingly helping us really feel into, number one, feeling into what do you feel about you? What does coming home to you feel like? That's the impulse of the Cancer full moon is very much about grounding us into comfort and rest and nourishment and really being at home with ourselves. And you can see I've got my hand on my heart. This is where your home is. You live from your heart space. Now, feeling into that, there's a very strong inspiration for us to let go of all of that which no longer serves who we're becoming. Who do you want to be as you step into this new magical, lighter vibe of 2026? 2026 is all about new beginnings. This is us getting to start a new 9-year cycle. 2025 is all about the letting go, wrapping things up. Do you need to wrap things up and put a big bow on it and say that way is done? So I encourage you this week to really look at where do you need to tell yourself the truth more? Where do you need to nourish yourself better? Are there boundaries that you need to strengthen or put in place? Are there boundaries that you need to soften and allow people to come in? The key piece here, you must do your own work on you first. So, and what I mean by that is that all too often we kind of get too caught up in the, oh, I have to go there and I have to do this and I have to talk to this person. I have to get, this is pause time. And if you've watched these also, you know that one of my favorite questions, and I really, really encourage you to bring this into yourself. How do I feel about myself here? How do I feel about myself here in this environment, doing these things, choosing that, not choosing that, allowing yourself to just press pause for long enough to allow your inner compass to guide you, to allow the intuitive hit to land. You see, all too often we get too conditioned and too caught up in the hustle and the push and the gotta get things done and gotta keep getting things done. Maybe you don't. The other part that just popped into my mind, and I'll put the link to this in the comments underneath this video, my one-word theme workbook. If you have heard me chat about this before, I've been doing this every year since 2016, is going through a process of kind of looking at the passing year, calibrating to that which I want to take forward, and setting a one-word theme. It's a beautiful way of having, it's kind of like a touchstone. It's having something that you can keep coming back to see, does this align with what I intend to create, to experience, to be. My year for 2025 was innovate. There's a lot of things that I have innovated during 2025. And so then it's kind of like, okay, that's that season. Now I'm letting that go because that was wrapping things up. If you have any questions or you need a wee bit more guidance or support on any of these ideas, just put it in the comments below or message me directly. Let's get into pulling some cards. So as you can feel, this week is very much about contemplation, about softness, about celebrating, about nurturing and intending. but at a right rhythm for you. It's also very much about letting go. Letting go that which no longer is a part of your identity, of who you're becoming, of the truth of you, of the highest octave of your soul's essence. Feel into that for a moment. See what whispers when you feel into that for a moment. And so, all that being said, the first deck of cards that I use is actually my letting go guidance system. So let's just see. Where can we... This is just to give you a start, because when I talk about letting go, sometimes letting go is just simply taking an inventory of what's going on, what your mindset, what your patterns, what your habits, what your attachments are, what your things that you love, things that you don't. And sometimes the letting go is just to say, oh, that's finished. And tell yourself, okay, that's good. I let that go with gratitude. Other times it takes a little bit more dedication and a little bit more diligence to kind of unearth what needs to be let go. And that's when you might need to reach out for some support or guidance, things of that nature. I hope that makes sense. But this card is intended to help you just have a wee look. Oh gosh. It's like, oh, whoops. Got this one. This one is very important. Letting go of disapproval of self. Do you have a propensity to do the woulda, coulda, shoulda? I failed on that. I didn't do that. I shoulda did that. Should have done this differently. Where does that come up for you? Are there pieces that you kind of dim your light or stuff down or think, oh gosh, I'm too much there or I'm not enough there? Just see what comes up with that, because definitely that is not something you want to be taking forward into a new year. But of course, sometimes when we experience that disapproval of self, it can actually alert us to something that we need to forgive, we need to release, we need to say, all is well in my world, or I did the best I could. Because that's something that can actually be fairly simple to let go, but you got to tell yourself the truth. Maybe that disapproval of yourself is this current version of you who has all this wisdom and experience judging or beating up a previous version. Previous version was even yesterday, because today you've become something new. You've got a different perspective. You've got different insights. So just see if that comes up, because it's so important to just stay present. Stay with your heart's wisdom. Okay, take a nice deep breath. Let's see what the tarot wisdom is going to come through to guide us through these last few days of 2025, guide us into this beautiful, nurturing full moon in the sign of Cancer at the end of this week. Oh, beautiful. The card is Temperance. I always love this card. This card makes me feel like it's blending the water and fire. That's the really getting into the emotional aspect and knowing that the fire's there, but maybe that means that you can use the steam as a visualization to say, I'm releasing that which I'm not taking forward. So and there's such a beautiful guided energy with that, guided by your own inner compass. Feel into that. So disapproval of yourself could be, I'm blending and I'm just using that fire and water, that I should have done this, but I did this, and how do I feel? I hope that makes sense. Okay, now moving into the Healing with the Angels card. I've been liking using this deck of cards. I stopped doing that quite some time ago, last year I think, but I've kind of circled back. So who knows? Who knows how long this will go? I just trust my inner compass to say which one's going to come up with us. Which deck, I should say. So let's see what 3 cards are going to help us navigate this week. Oh, I think this came up last week. The first one is friendship. Friendship's actually a beautiful one that comes up with that Cancer full moon idea, because, of course, in order to be a good friend to anyone, fur babies or in human beings, we must first be our own best friend. I think that's part of why that keeps coming up, especially if we need to let go of disapproval of self. Yeah, but you deserve to be your own best friend. And right next to it is forgiveness. Forgiveness could be part of that letting go process too, of I did do the best I could. And I always have been doing the best I could. Feel into that. If you need some more support on forgiveness, I have quite a few resources to help you with that. But forgiveness is such an important part. Forgiveness says, I am a sacred divine being and flowing with what feels right in this moment. And I'm also an extremely powerful creator being, as you are. Manifestation. That's the one. I love that. That's a beautiful flow if you think about what I just said about the waxing moon is starting to put the light onto those truths that you might have not completely given the full acknowledgement to, because if you're disapproving of yourself. So this week, just take your time. Allow yourself the spaciousness of doing this in a very, I'm going to say methodical, but it's not really. It's a very flowing, nurturing, nourishing way. And using that question, how do I feel about myself here? And so becoming your best friend, forgiving all aspects of anything that feels like I should have done better, anything that's a disapproval of yourself, and looking at manifestation. That could actually even be related to the idea of choosing a one-word theme. What do you want to manifest in 2026? And be with a very light, playful, joy-filled, light-filled aspect. I hope that makes sense. All right, beautiful friends. I'm just about ready to send you off into contemplation mode, into letting go mode, into celebrating this very 2025, let's face it, it's been a bit of a bumpy ride. Can you find what you can celebrate as you lovingly let it all go? And let's see what card comes up. Oh, this is perfect. Leading on from manifestation, I am abundant. You are abundant. Maybe that's part of what you could rest into this week, is to really acknowledge how abundant you are. But let me read this out to you. Abundance is not a circumstance or a condition. Abundance is never temporary. It's permanent. It is my natural state of mind which underlies everything I experience in the world. What a beautiful way to end out this session, end out this year, and step into an auspicious, magical year ahead. Much love to you. I will be back again with our next session in 2026, next Monday. Like I said, if you need any support, just let me know. Much love to you. Bye.